Hi, my name's Tori Bawab, and this is Joey Proffitt, and you are watching My Hometown with Tammy Joe.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me this morning on this episode of My Hometown. And please help me welcome Joey Proffitt of the Joey Proffitt Agency. How are you this morning?
Great. Appreciate it.
It's so good to see you, and thank you for coming in and talking with me. I wanted to get together because I know you just started this agency in the last year.
Right.
So I wanted people to get to know you. Maybe you didn't know that you had started the agency. Very cool how you can do so much more. So
Right. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the good news is, people know me either from being a police officer back in the day or being a captive agent. And what I found after being a successful captive agent was I couldn't solve every problem that people had.
Right.
So sometimes people needed flood insurance, and I was very limited on flood insurance. Or what about a commercial property that I couldn't write just because of that?
Right.
So what I decided to do, after much prayer and everything, I decided to go on my own and become a broker.
Great idea.
And being a broker means that any individual I can probably find a policy for at a better rate.
Yes.
With more coverage. But the goal is to really treat that person very well and get referrals and grow, and that's what I've done this past year.
That's fantastic, and it's more of an individual service that way, for you to have the ability to shop around.
Definitely, yeah, and it makes sense. The old captive days, and whatever name you want to put on a building, that's almost like dinosaurs in a sense.
Yeah.
Because with everything being online nowadays,
Right.
we went through COVID where you can't really do person to person. You got to have flexibility to do Zoom calls or take things over the phone and write policies. Well, that is perfect when you're an insurance broker.
Oh, yeah.
Because some people work during the day and they can't come in, but they can call me or they can send me a message and I can write the policy. And really, we just do everything through the internet.
That's nice.
And some of these old ways, and I still like meeting people. So if you're out there, come in by, see me. But ultimately, I understand people are busy.
Oh, yeah.
And the economies are tough, and some people might not work one job, but you got other people working 3 jobs.
Oh, yeah, true.
And so my goal is to try to take care of them as much as I can out of
Make
convenience.
it the easiest for
Absolutely.
them. Yeah, that's excellent. What you want to talk about? Maybe some of your products that you offer?
Sure. If you have auto insurance, most time you get a renewal at some point and it goes up.
Yeah.
It increases. And it's going to probably be $5. You don't really think about it, but 5 times 12 is $60 a year.
Right.
If they do that over the next 5 years, that's $720 extra you're paying from where you started. So my goal is to find products that once you settle into and you qualify for, it's locked. So I have rate lock on one of my companies.
Nice.
So if you start at $50, it stays at $50 until you make a change. Whether that be a change might be you buy a new car, you need different coverages, or add a driver, something like that. So that would fluctuate there. But if you don't make a change, you're golden.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to budget that way.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of senior citizens that are on a fixed budget.
Oh, yeah.
And inflation being higher right now, and the government not giving any tax increases for our seniors, they're stuck.
Yes, they are.
And so if we put them in rate lock, they're not have to change vehicles usually.
Right.
And so they understand they can pay that $50 and not have to worry about anything.
That's fantastic.
It works really well.
Well, talk to me some about, of course, real estate and doing insurance for homes.
Well, you're a prime example. You're in that market. Real estate prices went way up. Mm-hmm. And
has insurance followed?
Well, that's a good question. No, in a sense, because I have more companies, I can find a rate.
That's wonderful.
However, there are some companies. You might have let's just say you bought a house 3 years ago and it's covered for $140,000. All right, that 140 house now is probably somewhere around 180 now,
or more.
And that 140 policy is not sufficient to do the replacement coverage.
Oh, gosh.
And the reason why that is, you look at lumber prices that just happened.
Oh, yeah.
Everything skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And if
all
your
buildings
if your house burned up, God forbid, but if it did, you'd only get a limited amount of check from the company, and then you're stuck out of pocket trying to come up with another $30,000. That's why insurance reviews are needed. And most people think, oh, you're just trying to find a reason to up my rates or sell me more products or something like that. Well, some of that's true. I'm not going to lie. But,
It is about making money. Yeah.
but you do need to have the right coverage.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, you do.
people add fencing, people add pools, people add side buildings, they do saunas, they add additions to the house. They're not telling the insurance company because they don't want to, rate go up. Problem is, if there's a claim and it's found out that it wasn't wired properly, wasn't inspected by the city or county, it's denied. And they're not going to get coverage.
That is really good information that you just got out there, because I understand times are tight right now.
Right,
And,
yeah.
and a lot of people do try to do improvements on their home the cheapest way possible.
Sure, yeah.
So that is a really good point, though. If anything happened, they'd be denied.
Yeah, you have to be smart. I mean, the old saying of penny wise is a penny kept type of deal.
Yeah.
I'm all for being conservative and pinching pennies and things like that, but I want you to, understand that if you work at something and you work on something, that not only becomes valuable to you because you put your time and effort in it,
Right.
but it does increase value.
Definitely.
And so if you call your current provider of insurance and you tell them about it and it jumps up too much, that's why I exist. Call me.
Yes.
Let's compare quotes.
Yes.
And the other thing I want to talk to you about homes is the home policies I've been selling more of recently. I don't do a percentage replacement cost anymore. I do $1 million guarantee.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
So in a market like we just had, with lumber prices going up, labor going up, things like that, $1 million is going to build most places back in Elizabethton.
Yes, definitely. That's
so.
fantastic. That was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and put that in perspective, everybody's used to the Pigeon Forge cabin fires several years ago.
Yes.
So you had your State Farms, your Farm Bureaus, your Eries, and all them down there. And most of those companies are good, and we got those companies here, and I like the agents. So I don't have any problem with the agents. But when they only had replacement of 25% above their costs, you can't build those log cabins back.
No.
And that's why there's people down there right now that have the property but no house.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And with one of my companies that had property down there, they're all replaced. So they all got their house back.
That's amazing.
And it makes a big difference.
It does make a big
If there's a
difference.
claim, and that's what I build my policies for, is a lot of people sell on price, and I try to get the price in an affordable way, but I also want you to understand I'm there when a claim happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
You're kind of thinking of the end that could be.
Yeah.
And prepare for it.
I don't
upfront.
want people to hate me because of something that they could have gotten didn't.
Yes.
So now I'm just building everything in, unless they decide they don't want it. But I try to build everything in, and then we'll take back what you don't want. But that's your choice.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too. So you can kind of a la carte it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And you'd be shocked at the
Everybody's
price.
Individuals.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Different needs. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, and then it's speaking of rates, some people go different companies and they think they're the best. The only difference is I'm really good,
Yeah.
and it's not really known just yet, but it's going to be
He's
known.
the boss. He's the boss. We've already discussed this morning.
Yes, boss of one. So
That's the way to be.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, no talk back or anything. So.
Yeah. Nobody to fuss up but ourselves.
That's right.